Hello my friends, it's the Game Boy Geek here, and today we're going to be showing off something different. We're going to show you Clear Series, which is an infinitely expandable system to organize all your board game components like tokens and cards and dice and more, all while being crystal clear so that you can still see and read the components from any seat at the table. Now it's being crowdfunded, so I'm going to show you more about it and then I'll see you on the other side. First of all, this is a preview video, so these are not final components, these are prototypes, so check the link in the description to see all the final looks. So here we have a card holder, and again, everything in this series is crystal clear transparent so you can see right through it and it doesn't distract you from the game, but let's show you what it looks like with some cards on there. So here are some standard small Ticket to Ride cards, and notice a few things. Number one, it's at a nice angle that you can easily read it, but also it's sort of staggered. If you notice, this is sort of has a diagonal line here. And so you have some cards here, and then the other ones go sort of like in between, so it just looks nice. You can kind of see everything all in one. Now I also want you to notice that down here it's also transparent, because sometimes you'll have some cards that you may need to read some text at the bottom of the cards, and you can do that from the front here. And you can always put a second one right next to that one for more cards. And so here I have some of my tickets for Ticket to Ride, and again, I can see the full scoring there right through there. And if I want to see a little bit more, I can actually just go like that and take a little peek there as to what that is as well. I don't have to hold them all in my hand. Now keep in mind, those are small cards, but they were very spread out. Here's some normal size cards on one card holder. This is for Skull King. It's a trick-taking game, so I've got them all in order from suits. And I've got 10 cards, which is the most cards you'll ever have in a game like this. And you can overlap them, and all you really need to see is the numbers like that. Look at that, I've got 10 cards even just on the top rail of that. So as you can see, in many games, it can hold a lot of cards with a lot of information right in front of you in just one card holder. Now you may have noticed on the corner edges of this, there are some ways that these fit together. And so they go together nicely. You just slide one over the other one and you can kind of move the whole thing. It's not gonna come apart easily. And so if you're playing a game that doesn't need cards, but you got a lot of dice, or maybe you have both and you get enough to have them as card holders, and it acts as a dice tray to keep things on the table. There's some Wingspan dice, for example. And like everything else in this series, they all stack for easy storing. Now here's the small card holders. Again, these are holding the Ticket to Ride cards, and it's like a deck. Now these are two different ones, and they sort of go together, and so they actually would slide together like that, but they easily come apart like that if you want to separate them. So it's a nice little thing there. Now another cool thing about this is, well, these also have sort of a gentle slope, so it kind of holds the cards nice. But it also has a section back here, because sometimes you play games where you might have a draw down deck and you might have one card face up, for example. And not that you do this in Ticket to Ride, but you could have them like this on the back side if that's good enough. Or if you need to see the entire card, remember this is transparent for reasons, you could see the top one, because sometimes from games you're drawing, a top card that you can see, or you're just drawing from the deck. So depending on what game you're playing, you can use this in any modular form you'd like. And here's what it looks like when you have 4 of them all the way together. And again, now you can stack them as well, and this is great for storage, but it's also great if you have a smaller table, but you have lots of cards of this size. You could stack them like this, and you could still actually access each of the decks if needed. So for example, in What's He Building in there's a ton of little resource cards, and they're small, and they fit on here. And again, raw cloth, raw steel, refined steel, raw wood, you can just grab the one you want really easily, and it's saving table space. Now here are the component trays. I want to show you them empty for a reason, because they are concave, but they're also at a slight slope, which also makes it very easy to take things up. And again, they could be individual, or I've got 4 of them sort of slided in here together. So and again, endlessly expandable, very flexible how you set up on your table. And as you can see, they look nice in there. They're very easy to get. They slide around nice and easy. It's nice and smooth. But again, the slope really helps you as it gets to the lower side. Once there starts to be, not that many in there, it's still very easy to get these out. And again, since they're modular, you can separate them out, put them around like in any configuration that works for your table. And like the others, they stack for easy storing. And here are the standard size card trays. You can see all the dimensions on the project page, but again, very easy to take them out. They separate out. These are individual ones. They're all modular, so you can separate them out and put them together, slide them around, move them around all around the table, and it's just really easy to use. And they have a top, so again, if there's maybe the top of the deck that you might be able to draw, or a card off the, blind off the deck, it's set up for that as well, so you could have a top card. These could be the 3 different piles for Wingspan, for example, and you have the 3 different piles. Usually you don't get to see bonuses, but I wanted to show you that these are made so that you can have that. You can have something you can see and take, or take one off the bottom. It all works very easy. And like the others, they stack for easy storing, and that's a tour around the Clear series. Well, there you have the Clear series system, and as I showed in the overview, they have extreme readability and are for all board games, and they're infinitely expandable. Now, if you'd like to see the most recent components and all the different pledge levels available, you can click the link below me in the description of this video. Now, that's going to take you right to the project page, and I'm sure the creator of Clear series would love your support.